Hey there, my name is Chris Flanagan, and I'd like to welcome you to the Talmidim Way. Why don't you join me for a few minutes and I'll tell you all about it. So, what is the Talmidim Way? I believe this quote by Ray Vanderlaan helps define what the goal is. Do you ever feel like you are a follower of Jesus, but from a distance? Follow a rabbi, drink in his words, and be covered with the dust of his feet, so says an ancient Jewish proverb. In Jesus' day, disciples, known as the Hebrew word Talmidim, followed their rabbi so closely that they would be covered in the dust kicked up by their rabbi's feet. So the concept of being covered in the dust of your rabbi has been picked up by many different authors. And I believe that as 21st century Christians, the more we know about the geographic, cultural, and historic context of the environment that Jesus was communicating to his disciples or his audience, or that Paul was writing and communicating to his audience, I believe the better we can understand and better follow our rabbi. So I call this the Talmidim Way, and I have the Derek HaTalmidim across the screen, so I have a little bit of Hebrew knowledge, but I want to be clear, this is not a Hebrew roots approach or a Messianic Judaism approach. I do have a Messianic commentary and a ministry that I follow, and we'll be using some of their materials as we go through the Gospels and then later Acts and the epistles, but this is not taking a Jewish approach necessarily. I don't believe it's necessary for us to wear prayer shawls or anything like that. First of all, I believe that could be a form of misappropriation. If that's not us, we shouldn't be doing that. That's for the Jews. And I also want to say if that is your faith tradition, if you come from Messianic Judaism or Hebrew roots, we know that Paul said that we have one body of Messiah, but all many different body parts. So everyone is welcome here, but I'm really writing from the perspective of a Gentile believer living in the 21st century. And I believe that to be the best disciple we can possibly be, we can just learn more about the context and culture that the Gospels and epistles are written in, and then we can better apply it to our lives here. So we are currently working our way through a thematic study of the Gospels that is roughly chronological. We'll be putting out roughly a video per week or sometimes more if we need to break up a passage or series of passages into multiple parts. Some weeks we may be only looking at one book, so John chapter 5 has no parallel passages. The following week we looked at the call of the disciples, so that was Luke 4, Luke 5, Matthew 1, bits of Matthew 4 and 8, sorry, and then Mark 1. So it just depends on where this thematic structure leads us, and we'll have the Bible text side by side. They'll also have some pertinent images, maybe cultural images, maybe a map, maybe an archaeological find, those kind of things that we'll talk through. The pictures primarily come from Todd Boland's database, wealth of knowledge, I should say, of pictures that are his photographic pictorial library of Bible lands, and then a photographic journey through the Gospels that he has. The maps will come from primarily the Satellite Bible Atlas. You can get any of those products at BiblePlaces.com, which is Dr. Boland's website. Audio comments are taken from various cultural and geographic and historical commentaries. I'll include D. Thomas Lancaster's Chronicles of the Messiah. That's the Messianic commentary I was talking about. He also has a series called Chronicles of the Apostles that we'll get to. I'm a fan of Barry Beitzel's Lexham Geographic Commentary of the Gospels and Acts, and also Craig Keener's IVP Bible Background Commentary of the New Testament. So we'll be using those references as we go through. And then to conclude each lesson, I'll have some application questions that we can just ask ourselves just to make sure we're putting our faith and discipleship into action, just as Jesus did when he washed the disciples' feet, which you can see in the picture on the screen. So if all this sounds interesting and sounds like something that would enrich your walk in discipleship with Jesus, I hope you'll pray about joining us. We'll release new videos, as I said, about every week or so. You can hit the subscribe button in YouTube to be notified whenever there's a new video. So hope to see you along the way, along the Talmidim Way. Thanks.